Do you wish you can just go back in time sometimes after learning something you thought you wanted to know? Yeah, me too. Hey everyone, it's me, Alice, back with another video. Yeah, so soon. I'm trying so hard, but today we're going to be talking about something I've already talked about actually. I made a video, I think about a week ago, about Mulan and saying, did Disney change too much about Mulan? And is the movie going to be good or bad? And I was in decision of whether I was going to see this movie, and then the movie got delayed because of coronavirus, and now I don't know when the movie's coming out. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the real issue about Mulan, the real problem of Mulan. I should be doing my schoolwork, but then I just found this article online that was just so juicy, just so unbearably desirable that I just had to make this video on the real issue of Mulan. It's not that they took the musicals away, or that they took Shane out, or, you know, they didn't bother to add Mushu. No, the real problem is the people who made the movie. And what that problem is, you may ask? Oh, it's not because they were unqualified for the job, or they did something like really bad. It's because they're white. I wish I was joking, by the way, when I say that. It's, oh, it is not a joke. Let's just take a look at this article and why this movie is too white behind the scenes. According to this article, it says, I loved Mulan since childhood, but the remake is too white behind the camera. Too white behind the camera. Alright, off to a wonderful start already. So, alright. In the words of a bisexual icon, Lauren Shen, once you find your center, you are sure to win. It is sound advice that Disney should have taken heed of in their 2020 remake of their hit animation film Mulan, and it might just cost them their victory. Yeah, so apparently Shane, the love interest of Mulan, is apparently a bisexual icon. I don't know. It's something I just learned reading this article. I'm learning a lot today, guys. When the news broke that my childhood favorite film was getting a live-action treatment with a focus on improving it being more culturally respectful, I was overjoyed. I dreamed it, and I planned it, and the universe laughed. From its concept, the project has been followed up by controversy, delay, and criticism. Finally, it premiered on 10th March. That's 10 March. Alright, not gonna say anything to that. March 10th, but as the cast of Asians excellence lined up on the red carpet for photos and interviews, they were followed by a crew, majority whom were unsurprisingly very white. They're not just white, they're very white. Very. There's a big difference, people. Remember that. There's a difference between white and very white. As a person of color, this was incredibly frustrating to see. We were promised that this remake would be a departure from the animated movie or original's roots and more accurate to the origin retelling of China legend and folk songs, the Ballad of Mulan, which is the movie is based on. But seeing a whole host of white people paraded on a carpet and enjoying their time in the spotlight made it feel hollow. That's it. I'm done. I lost all humanity in the world. Goodbye, everyone. Just when you thought people could not get any more stupid and pathetic than they do. So because white people made this movie, that's a problem. But no, just because people that spend their time and energy working on a movie that are getting congratulated and the proper respect and credit for making the movie is a problem now, because these people that just so happen to be white is getting being cheered on and asked questions and just enjoying their time from making this movie. is now a problem now. Because they're white. Got it. It was a visual slap in the face and an undeniable message from Disney that Asian people telling the story on screen are mere puppets on string with no real control on how their own stories are told. Wow. Okay. It was also a reminder of the unfortunate reality of our lives as people of color. As much as we are seeing movies of ourselves being represented in the mass media, we still don't have narrating over we still don't have authorization over our narratives. You want to be represented in movies, you get represented in movies. But just because white people are making those movies that are represented by colored people, now it's a problem. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a proof that just shows that people will never be satisfied. This right here. That is the proof. That is the proof. I thought, okay, fair. The original ballad didn't feature a dragon and musical number, but then the next thing I hear is the shape-shifting witch is playing in the movie. So, okay. So, there comes a line when you really just can't focus too much on diversity. It's almost as much as that these people are trying to think about the story. The story. I mean, you even say it right here that the 1998 movie had female Asian writers. It's like you had no problem with that. But the thing is that China didn't really like that movie. They didn't like Mushu. They didn't like how their culture was represented in that movie. That's why in this movie, they were trying to focus on China. That's why their target is mainly on China, because they did all this research, put all of this time and effort into this movie so they could give a movie that the Chinese would like. But just because they're white, that doesn't matter to you. That's what I don't get. It's almost as if these people are actually trying to make a good story. You can't just think about diversity for every single movie you go into. That just doesn't make any sense. Do you just go into a movie and be like, oh, I didn't see a single black, gay, or trans person in that movie. This movie must be too white. Well, my gays, I need more of my color people. Wait, was this movie made by a color person, or was it made by a white person? A very white person. And so obviously this person is very upset. Very upset. At this point, I've given up. This is no longer my favorite Disney story because it was made by a white person. I'm disgusted. The worst part is that they believe that just because they stopped by a museum or two, took an all-expense paid trip to China, and did what feels like the bare minimum of research, that they somehow make up for the lack of live experience and culture connection. That's where the problem really lies. It ignores the unique perspective that comes from being connected to the culture and identity in question, something that can't be learned from research and observed. But doesn't mean that they can't make movies on other races. That's what you don't get. It is not realistic, especially for countries as old and rich as heritage as China. I hope that Disney learned from their research from Aladdin remake mess in 2019, and this is the Black Panther. How well did Disney do? Oh, okay. Mess? Got it. Not everyone on the crew needs to be a specific race and ethnicity. Butcher that word. That pairs with the story told, but those who are in leadership roles and have creative control and authorization should be. The director and screenwriter, for example, as well as the costume designers who are specializing in historically accurate clothing and culture, who are familiar with the culture's musical history and tradition. What? Oh my gosh, you did not say that. So, white people shouldn't have good higher jobs based that when making a movie about different race because they're white. Just imagine being a director, spending your life good money, college, school, all of this time, getting a decent, well-paying job, only to be told that you shouldn't direct certain movies because of the color
you were born as. Sorry.
Just, oh my gosh. That's just, oh. I wonder, you know what that is called? Segregation. Asians only are allowed to make this movie. Put the sign up right there. We will not hire anyone else to be director or screenwriter unless they are Asian, because this is an Asian movie and it doesn't need to be whitewashed. That is literally segregation. Ugh, yes. But I guess it's bear repeating. Reputations matter both in front of the camera and behind the camera. You know, this is funny because we have all these problems going on right now in the US, and this is what this person's upset about. Because white people directed and wrote Mulan. Great. It doesn't hurt to go the extra step either, for instance, by hiring an on-set historian reader to review the script and screening rough edits to knowledgeable critics before confirming the completion of the film. For a company as massive and wealthy as Disney, there is simply no excuses. This is how we stop these issues from happening. This is how we are sure to win. Win what? Racism? I don't like using that word, but that's literally what you are saying. You are saying that white people shouldn't be allowed to direct or write movies that are based on different races and culture just because they're white. And I mean, this opens a big cans of worms. Like, does that mean does that mean black people can't make white people movies? Or Mexicans make Chinese movies, or Chinese movies making black people movies? Like, what are you saying? Is this just a white people thing, or is this everyone's thing? And I think it's amazing what Disney is doing here. I mean, I still have my own questions about whether this movie is going to be good or not. But I think I can respect Disney for taking a big risk with this movie, because like I said, it's not a remake. They're changing everything, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. And I mean, I hope this movie does well. I mean, I have hope that this movie could do well, because sometimes movies that are completely crazy can prove the fans wrong. A lot of people doubted Aladdin, and Aladdin made a lot of money in the box office and had really good reviews from the audience. So sometimes even movie studios can prove the fans wrong. I mean, Disney screwed up on a lot of ways, but Aladdin was definitely the biggest I told you so. I will give Disney that. And I can respect these writers for taking this big risk. Sometimes you have to take a big risk, all or nothing. You know what? I made up my mind. I'm seeing this movie whenever it comes out. It may be delayed right now, but I'm seeing this movie. Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna end the video right there. So like, subscribe if you haven't already. I post videos as often as I can be. Get ready, because the Unis Honest video is still in the making. If you haven't seen my last one, I am making one for the channel Unis Honest. I'm really excited for that. And as always, till next time.